Okay, so let's unpack this. You buy the high-end 4K TV, you get the premium console or player, but you put them 30 feet apart and suddenly nothing.
Or worse, you get that digital snow or flickering. I mean, it's the classic AV nightmare.
Right. So our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how the Kramer PT-101H2, which is an active HDMI repeater roughly the size of a matchbox, actually ensures a high bandwidth video signal survives the trip. We're pulling from the spec sheets and the HDTVSUPPLY catalog to see if this thing is actually worth the shelf price.
And surviving the trip is really the right way to put it. We tend to think HDMI cables just work, but once you push past standard lengths, physics just starts winning.
Let's look at the specs, because this isn't just about getting a picture. The Kramer claims to handle 4K at 60 Hz with 4.4.4 color sampling.
Which is basically the holy grail for a lot of videophiles and integrators.
Right, because 4.4.4 means no chroma subsampling.
Exactly. You aren't compressing the color data to save bandwidth. But the trade-off there is massive data weight. Sending that uncompressed signal down a long copper wire is like, well, it's like trying to push a freight train through a garden hose.
That brings us to the range. I was looking at the catalog entry, and there's a bit of a discrepancy.
Oh, with the distance.
Yeah, the product title boldly claims 33 feet, but you scroll down to the technical nitty-gritty, and it lists a max transfer distance of 66 feet. That's a huge gap.
It is, but that's pretty standard for the industry. That 66-foot max usually assumes ideal conditions or lower resolutions.
Like maybe 1080p.
Right. But that 33-foot figure in the title? That's likely the guaranteed range for that heavy, uncompressed 4K 60 signal we just talked about.
So it's honest about the drop-off, but how is it hitting those numbers at all? It's not just an extender. The documentation highlights something called Kramer equalization and reclocking technology.
Yes, reclocking with a K.
Naturally with a K, but is that just marketing speak for an amplifier?
No, and that's a crucial distinction for anyone buying this. A cheap amplifier is dumb. It just boosts the voltage.
So if your signal has noise...
The amp boosts the noise too. You just get a louder, distorted signal.
So what does the reclocking actually do?
It rebuilds the signal. It strips away the noise, corrects the timing, literally aligning the digital clock, and generates a fresh, clean signal to send to the display. It's not shouting the message louder, it's rewriting the message on a clean sheet of paper.
Which explains why they call it a repeater rather than just a booster. Now, for the practical side, if you're running this in a home theater or a sports bar, you're likely dealing with protected content. The sheet lists it as HDCP 2.2 compliant.
Which is non-negotiable. If you try to pass a Netflix 4K stream or a UHD Blu-ray through a repeater that's only HDCP 1.4, the source device just cuts the feed.
You get a black screen.
Exactly. This device shakes hands with the source and the display to keep that copyright chain intact.
Let's talk form factor. I mentioned it's matchbox-sized. Specifically, it's 2.4 inches wide, 2 inches deep, and weighs just 3.5 ounces. You could tape this to the back of a TV and never know it's there.
True, but there is a catch with active devices like this.
The power cord.
Yes, it's tiny, but it needs juice. The specs insist on an external power adapter, so while the box hides away, you still need an outlet nearby. Interestingly, though, the specs mention the HDMI output power follows the input.
Meaning it maintains the 5-volt signal required for the TV to detect that something is actually plugged in.
Right.
Okay, we have to address the price. The MSRP is listed at $310. Even with today's price dropping it to $248, that is steep for a tiny black box.
It is. You can buy cheap couplers for $10,
Yeah.
but you're paying for that reclocking engineering and the 4K 60 reliability. This is really positioned as a fixer tool if you've run a 50-foot cable through a wall and the signal is flickering.
This is the $250 insurance policy to save the install without ripping out drywall.
Precise.
So if you're just connecting a cable box 6 feet away, this is total overkill. But if you're bridging that gap to a projector across the room, this is the bridge.
It's a professional patch for the physical limitations of copper.
Which brings us to the end of this deep dive.
And here is a thought to leave you with. We treat digital data, those ones and zeros, as if they are permanent, incorruptible things.
Yeah, we assume they're perfect.
But look at this device. It exists solely because after traveling just 33 to 66 feet, those perfect digital signals are so degraded, they have to be completely reconstructed by a machine.
It really challenges our assumption that digital data is immune to physical distance. It's a great reminder that even the digital world is tethered to the physical one. Thanks for exploring this with us, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.